Hi guys, and welcome back to Simply Forex, the channel dedicated to you, the trader. We want you to be successful in the markets. So guys, I'm going to give you some gold every day. I'm going to let you know which currency pairs I'm looking to trade and which direction. And I'm also going to let you know which news that you must be aware of. So let's take a look at the chart and what I'm potentially going to trade today. Morning traders, welcome back. How are you? We had another fantastic day yesterday, another profitable day. This is all we can ask for when we trade. So I hope you followed a few of the pairs from yesterday, guys, all right? Today is Thursday, the 28th of July, and we're not going to mess about. We're going to straight away, we're going to look at yesterday's trades, we're going to look at today's potential trades, and we're also going to take a look at the important news for today. So let's look back at yesterday's profitable day. So we had three potential trades. The first one was this. This was the euro against the US dollar, and we were looking to short this pair. Okay, so price was clearly in a downtrend. Lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. This was a potential lower high bouncing off the moving average 20. Okay, and we got this bearish candle form yesterday. Okay, so the idea was just to take price back down to this blue line before we had the big news and it all went crazy. Okay, so that was the trade idea. That was the why we were shorting it. So let's look at H1 now to see if we could get on in this trade and how we made this trade. All right, so yeah, it was an interesting trade yesterday. We needed 2 bites at this cherry before the news kicked in. I mean, look at the news. Yeah, this is the news candle. Okay, don't be in a trade. Don't try and trade that. Yeah, very difficult. Okay, but anyway, I digress. We were looking at the trade before the news. Okay, so price come up into our grey zone, and then we got this candle form. Okay, and this is telling me that sellers have taken control of this market. Okay, so the idea was to enter on this candle and take price back down to this last H1 low. But because it's such a large candle, guys, what we needed to do was wait for a bit of a retrace. Okay, so I got a retrace up to about here. I put my stop 5 ticks above the high. Okay, and then I just wanted to take price back down, like I say, to these last H1 lows. As you can see, the market laughed in my face and said, no, Tom, you won't be doing this. Okay, and then this candle here, yeah, took me out of this level. Okay, so unhappy trader at this point. All right, but again, the market give us another opportunity, guys. All right, so price came out. It just took my stop out before it came crashing back down. This is very frustrating. Okay, however, yeah, I got back in on this candle. Okay, so I entered on the close of this candle, put my stop about 5 ticks above the entry candle. Okay, and then I just took 100% of the trade back down to these last H1 lows. Okay, so I took 100% of the trade back down to here. All right, guys, and as you can see, a great trade. It gave me a risk to reward of about 1 is to 1.5. Okay, so yeah, happy trader. Yeah, and we were, even though we had a loss here, because I closed 100% at a risk to reward of yeah, 1 is to 1.5, we were still in profit, guys. Yeah, we still made money on this pair. I closed 100% here, guys, because it wasn't long before the news, and then you can see what happens on the news. Okay, so I didn't want to trade open when that news came out. Okay, so I closed 100% and made a small profit on the euro US dollar. Let me know how you traded it, guys. Right, next trade is this was the Canadian dollar against the Swiss franc. All right, and again we were looking to short this pair. Okay, so price, basically this zone here, guys, was the important zone. Yeah, because price came down, it was in a downtrend, tested this area, okay, then eventually broke this area, so it then became in an uptrend, tested it, didn't push higher, and then broke this zone again. Okay, so this zone here was the important zone for this market. Okay, so when this candle here, guys, broke these lows here, okay, then price was back into a downtrend. Okay, then we had this candle here, and we were just trying to take price from one of our grey zones back down to this blue line, the last daily low. All right, guys, so that was the idea. Yeah, we were shorting this market, but let's look at H1 to see if we could get in on this trade. And we could. Okay, but let me show you how. All right, guys, so yeah, price did come up into our first grey zone here. Yeah, okay, but as you can see, no candles that told us sellers were in control. Instead, it almost hit our grey zone, and then we had this candle form. Okay, so I entered on this candle, guys, all right, because we had a nice retrace, and then we got a nice rejection candle. We had a large wick, yeah, on this red candle, and it closed, you know, into the body of this green candle. Okay, so I entered on the close of this wick. I put my stop about 5 ticks above the high, 5 pips, and then the idea, guys, was to take the trade back down to these last lows. Okay, again, guys, because of the big news coming out, I suggest you close all your trades before that big news comes out. We had the Fed interest rate decision. All right, so I closed 100% here. Okay, and as you can see, it literally took out my target and then whipped back up. Okay, guys, so this gives me a risk to reward of about 1:1.5. So again, a great trade, guys. Yeah, I hope you got in on this candle. And then price did come back up into our grey zone again. Okay, but again, you could have entered on this candle. Okay, this tells me sellers are in control. But remember, guys, you want to come down to these last H1 lows. So you would need to get a retrace on this candle. Okay, maybe a retrace here, put your stop here, yeah, and then close your trade here. That would have been a nice trade, guys. But again, this is in where the news was all coming out. So for me, like I say, entered on this candle, closed 100% of this last H1 low, and got out before all the news. Okay, guys, so yeah, another profitable trade on the Canadian dollar Swiss franc. So yeah, small profit on the euro US dollar and a nice profit on the Canadian dollar Swiss franc. But guys, let me know how you traded it. Please leave a comment. Right, the third and final idea from yesterday was this. It was the euro against the Swiss franc. Okay, and we were trying to short this for obvious reasons, really. I was a little bit concerned that it was a bit oversold, but it was close enough to the moving average 20 for me to take the trade. So price was in a downtrend, okay, as you can clearly see, okay, and then we were just trying to get price to come up to this grey zone so we could take it back down to this higher time frame target. Okay, guys, we're looking to short this. Like I said, I was a little bit concerned it might be a little bit oversold. But yeah, willing to take the trade. Okay, so the idea was selling to short this market. Let's look at H1, guys, to see what happened. So for me, guys, I've got a very itchy nose this morning. Please bear with me. I'm not picking my nose. I'm itching, scratching my nose. Right, so yeah, with this pair, guys, there was a lot of indecision here. Yeah, we had this, it would be like we had this candle said we're moving up, this candle said we're moving down, this candle said we're moving up, this candle said we're moving down, this candle said we're moving up, this candle said we're moving down. You know, it was just so indecisive, this market. So for me, it just made it a bit untradeable, guys, to be honest with you. And then once this sort of H1 high here, once it broke out of here, yeah, I definitely wasn't interested. Okay. Yeah, there was just too much indecision in this market, guys, for me to trade this pair. So yeah, I stayed out of this pair. Maybe you didn't, guys. Maybe you entered on one of these candles, but for me, yeah, there was no entry here because of all this just whipsawing, all this indecision, and then it broke to the upside anyway, and we were looking for shorts. Okay, I still think if price gets up to this grey zone, the trade is still intact to take lower. But for yesterday, no trade on this pair, guys. All right, so yeah, they're the 3 trades from yesterday, guys. So yeah, small profit on the euro US dollar, nice profit on the Canadian Swiss franc, and no trade on this pair, guys. All right, so yeah, I hope you followed a few of those trade ideas. Let's take a look at today's potential trades now. Guys, yet another profitable day yesterday, guys. So I hope you followed some of the trade ideas from the recap that we just looked at, guys. Yeah, we've had a great week. What can we say? Happy days. Yeah, and if you enjoyed the recap, guys, then please subscribe to the channel and smash that notification button. That way you'll receive an alert every single day, Monday to Friday. Also, smash the like button, guys, and support the channel. That would be much appreciated. Right, so trades for Thursday, the 28th of July. We've only got one potential trade, but I'm going to show you something else before we look at that trade, okay? So because of the news, the interest rate decision from the Fed yesterday, there was a lot of potential US dollar pairs I could trade, but they looked good on the day chart, but on the weekly chart, they didn't look so good. So this is one example, guys. I just wanted to show you this, yeah? So this is the pound against the US dollar, all right? This is not a trade idea. I'm just showing you why I'm not trading it. So price was clearly in a downtrend, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. Okay, didn't create a lower low. And then this area here is the last high. Okay, and as you can see, there's been doji, 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 lots of indecision. And then because of the news yesterday, we had this break. Yeah, this green candle has broken out of this this sort of indecision. Okay, and then we've got higher highs. So for me, we are clearly in an uptrend now with the pound US dollar and a lot of the other US dollar pairs as well. Aussie dollar, US dollar. Yeah, there was a few I was looking at, but this is a good example. Okay, so we're in an uptrend. So why not look for longs and go higher? Because of this, guys. So yeah, if we look at the weekly chart, as you can see, guys, this area here, yeah, is the last weekly low. And how many times do we see price, what was once support, become resistance at this area and come back down? Yeah, how many times do we see this in the market? So on the weekly chart, I would be buying into a good area of resistance. Yeah, price could quite easily turn around here. So for this reason, guys, yeah, I cannot look for buys on the day chart. Yeah, I cannot buy into resistance on the weekly chart. Yeah, I just can't. It doesn't compute in my brain. Okay, but this for me is clearly a break of structure on the day chart. Okay, but for those reasons, guys, I am going to throw the pound US dollar out of today's potential trades. Okay, so instead, guys, we've only got one potential trade today, and it is the Canadian dollar against the Swiss franc. So yes, deja vu, we were shorting this from yesterday and made some nice profit on this pair, but the trade is still intact for me. Okay, so if you remember from the recap, yeah, this zone here is the important zone in this market. Yeah, what was once resistance Okay, when it breaks, then becomes support. Okay, broke down again. Okay, so we're in a downtrend. We've got lower lows, came back up, and then we had this candle followed by this candle. Okay, so both of these candles still tell me sellers are in control. Okay, so let's just zoom in on those candles so you can see them. So yeah, when these lows here were broken, guys, we then had lower lows. Okay, lower lows. All right, and then we had this candle form, which we were shorting from a couple of days ago, and then we had this candle yesterday. And as you can see, this wick rejected our grey zone. All right, guys, so the idea is just to come from one of these grey zones down to this last low here. Okay, guys, so yeah, Canadian dollar, Swiss franc short. Let's look at the H1 to see our criteria, what we need to be met in order for us to take the trade. Okay, so yeah, we've got a couple of grey zones, guys. So I adjusted my grey zones slightly, guys, because obviously throughout the day the H1 price has moved, and therefore we can, you know, tinker with our grey zones a little bit. Okay, so we've got two grey zones. Potentially, remember, we're looking for shorts. So price could come up to this grey zone. Yeah, test these last highs here. Then we want to see a bearish candlestick pattern form. That's always our trigger to enter. We can enter the trade, and then we can close 80% of these last H1 lows, and then leave 20% to run down to our higher time frame target. Okay, so that's the first idea. If that doesn't happen, guys, price could come down, break this grey zone, therefore break these last H1 lows. Yeah, come back up into this grey zone. We get a bearish candlestick pattern form, and then we can take 100% of the trade back down to this higher time frame target. All right, guys, so yeah, two ideas for this pair. We're shorting the Canadian dollar, Swiss franc, and it's the only trade for today. Let's take a look at the news now. Guys, if you've enjoyed this daily morning analysis, I hope you have, then please come join us. Yeah, subscribe to the channel, smash that notification button, and you'll receive an alert every single morning. Okay, so news for Thursday, the 28th of July. So overnight, we had a bit of news coming out of Australia, retail sales, and this was worse than expected. So this could have had a negative impact on any Aussie dollar pair. Okay, but that's been and gone. So we're not interested in that anymore. The first piece of news that we're interested in, okay, is this. Yeah, we've got three pieces of news that we're interested in, and they all come out at 1:30 London GMT, and they're all out of the US. Okay, so we've got Fed Chair Yellen speaking at 1:30. Okay, so yeah, when anyone from the Fed speaks, they can move the market, guys. All right. We've got GDP of the US. Yeah, is it in growth? Is it in decline? This will be an interesting figure as well. And also we have some employment data, so initial jobless claim. So this time here, guys, this could really move any US dollar pair, guys. Okay, so must be aware of this news coming out. And as for the rest of the day, guys, as you can see, nothing else of interest. Okay, that's it. I hope you've enjoyed the vid. If you have, please subscribe, like, and share. I hope you have a wonderful trading day, and I'll see you tomorrow, guys.